Hi guys, it's me Danielle, Danny Buttons, and I'm back today with what might possibly be a new series. We'll talk about it. Let me just get some things out of the way. I got a new filming mat, which I'm pretty excited about, but I'm actually filming today in my living room. It's 4th of July right now. Happy 4th of July. You'll be seeing this tomorrow. I hope you had a good and safe day. First of all, what? I love my nails. Yes, so you might hear fireworks in the background. I apologize, but it's 11:30 at night and they're still going off. I think everyone was anxious to do their own fireworks since there's no group fireworks going on. So hopefully it will die down a little bit, but I'm sorry if you're still hearing that. Okay, so what I'm wanting to do as a mini series, I don't know how many episodes, but as I've been showing off more and more pages I've been coloring, things like that, I've been getting questions on how I do certain things. So today what I'm gonna show you is how I color Disney French coloring books. So my series, if I continue with it, would be called How I Color. And then it would be how I color blank. And then obviously the blank will change each episode or video. And I'll show you, I am by no means an expert really at anything coloring related. I do this as a hobby. I've never professionally done anything coloring related. So I'm just gonna give you the tips and tricks I use and show you how I, in particular, do these things. But yes, back to my other statement. I'm in the living room. Sam is actually talking to his friend on the computer, and that's why I'm out here. My tripod is very precariously attached to some board games to weigh it down because my dining table is too thick to clamp it on. So we're living on the edge here, but hopefully it all works out. Okay, I really wanted to show you the process from the very beginning. So I did not even pick my pictures. So what I did do is bring out 2 of my French coloring books to pick from. This is one of my newest ones, and then this is just a favorite. I want to do more pages. So I'm gonna look through these and pick a page right now and talk you through the whole process. This might be tedious, this might be a little weird. I don't know what's gonna happen with this video, but I figure if you ever wanted to know how I personally color my French coloring books, this is how. So, I always look at the back to pick my picture. This month, to help me pick, I've decided I want to do water-related things. I just think that will be fun. Again, I have like 12 of these, so that's 1,200 pages to pick from, and that is a lot. So I just go through and I'm gonna do like water-related movies or water scenes, Sebastian, Ariel. I really would like to do one with the black outlines. This one doesn't have a lot of that, but we will see. Flounder, I don't know why he looks so sleepy. I really just sit and I flip. Oh, okay, I just got my whole heart scared, but I'm back now. So sorry for that delay. An unexpected visitor interrupted. Yes, so I just take a very long time and flip back and forth and pick something. What should I pick though? This is why I bring multiple books, because sometimes I can't decide. So let's try book number 2. Ursula might be a good one. And you might notice that some of the pictures look very similar, but again, there are like 12 of these books. So after a while, they did run out a little bit of things and characters to put in these books. All right, so I'm thinking I might do Rue, because it looks like he's like jumping out of the water. So that could be interesting. I might do Kita, because Atlantis is obviously a water one. But I don't really like the colors of that one. Or I could do Ursula. I'm gonna go for Rue. I think that will be fun and different. So, put my other book aside. That is page 86. These books come with flaps, so I always put the flap over the page I'm doing so I can reference it if I need to. Then we flip to 86. So this book is called the Optical Illusion book. I also put my little blotter paper behind. I don't know if I've really ever bled through these pages because I know what to use, but if this is the first time, I'm going to be ready. So, okay, this is called Optical Illusions, Volume 2. That's what this book is. I'll flip to the front. Apparently that's what that means in French. Hopefully the glare isn't terrible. But basically, the picture that is dark outlined right now, I think you can see Kanga and Rue is not obviously what the finale picture is. Yeah, so I always peek. Of course, you could go in blind and see what happens, but that is not how I do it. So I am going to start off by coloring all of the black outlining. Black is always number one. For me, I use these Tombow dual tip water-based markers. Mine is pretty close to the end of its life, so it's pretty scratched up. It has a nib side and a brush side. I use the nib side first and I outline everything, and then I use the brush side to fill it in. I actually go through a ton of these, so I always put a piece of washi tape whenever I start one, and I actually bullet journal also, and every month I'll have a washi tape of the month to like denote things that happened that month. So I will, like, whatever month I start the marker in is the washi tape I'll use, and it's just kind of an easy way to keep track of when they die, like that I know that one is done for. Okay, this is an incredibly long explanation. I was debating doing this as a speed color, but I think I'm gonna keep this one pure. So for me, I always do the black outline first, because as you can hopefully see, maybe I can zoom in and then back out. It is very, like, there's a ton of lines. The idea is for this to be a mystery, so they don't really want you to see what you're doing before it happens. So for me, that is incredibly overwhelming, and I can't actually see what I'm supposed to be coloring. So I think doing the black outline first really helps segment things, and then you can kind of get an idea of what is going on. I know a lot of people like the mystery. A lot of people will do the black last and have it be like the finishing touches. That's definitely a way to go, but again, this just helps my eye see what I'm doing. If you are new to these books, I will say this every time. I know I have gotten a ton of new subscribers in June, which I appreciate so much. So maybe this is the first time you are seeing one of these books. There are 12 out. I have flip throughs of every one that I own in different videos. I have a playlist, so hopefully I'll be linking that playlist. But you should definitely look through them. Look at the flip throughs. I flip through the finished pages at the back, and then you can make your decision on which one you would like to purchase. I purchased all of these. It took me like 2 years to get them all. So unless you are gonna go real crazy and get them all at once, I recommend looking through that and seeing which ones you wanna get first. I don't know if you need all of them. Obviously, a lot of us are coloring book completists, so we want the whole collection. But if you are only in the market for one or two, definitely check that out. There's differences to all of them that I talk about in those videos, but I might also talk about a little bit while I'm outlining right now. There are currently 7 volumes of Grand Classics. That's what they are called, and they are predominantly portrait style of a whole bunch of different characters. I'm pretty sure every Disney movie is represented except Tarzan, which is really strange, and I don't know why. I don't know if they just don't like Tarzan in France, but all other like 53 movies are represented in there somewhere, and there are a bunch of Pixar movies, but again, each volume might focus on different characters. So if you love a certain movie the most, maybe look through those flip throughs and get that one first. And then there are 2 volumes right now of Optical Illusions, and that's what we're working in. And there are one volume that's called Mickey, Donald and Company, which is basically Mickey characters through the years from the very first Mickey cartoons up until, I want to say, the Three Musketeers movie, which was in like 2007, something like that. There is a volume of Pixar, which obviously focuses on the Pixar characters. I think, though, the Pixar one was made before Coco, so there's no Coco in there or anything after Coco, which right now is what just came out. Onward is not in there. I don't know if Onward will be in the next one. So that's another thing. Obviously, these books started coming out in, I want to say, 2017. So if you want newer movies, you have to go to newer books. So each book will heavily feature some movies over the others, and it's a lot of preference. I know that I'm definitely harping on that, but I really don't want you to get one and then be disappointed that it is not who you wanted. For example, book 4, volume 4 of Grand Classics has a ton of sequels, and it's almost strange to me how many sequels, but sure. So it's a lot of direct to DVD sequels like Cinderella 2, Pocahontas 2, Little Mermaid 2 and 3, which to me is very strange. I don't know if those, again, are more popular in France, if they just felt a little bit like they were running out of characters. But that's a lot of what's in volume 4. A lot of them are still the main characters, so it's not like you won't recognize who they are. It's just weird because I remember there's a Pocahontas and she's dressed up in regal wear, as if she's at a ball, and that obviously does not happen in her original movie, so I'm assuming that happens in the later movies. So yes, that is 4. The complaints that 5 gets and 7 is that the images are very dark. So I don't know if they just, obviously, especially in hand-drawn animation time, in order to get the characters to look like they're in the dark, they would just draw them darker. So I don't know if they just took a lot of dark scenes. I don't know what happened there, but those are a little bit darker than some of the others. And the problem, quote unquote, with volume 6 is there's not as many. Oh, this is in volume 6. I don't know why I pointed to it. 6 is over there right now. They don't all have the dark black outline. So some people don't like the dark black outline. Personally, I love the dark black outline. It's a tongue twister. So again, if you're only going to get one book, look at all of these things and see what is best for you. Volume 2 in Grand Classics has Pooh Bear. Volume 3 in Grand Classics is a ton of Tinkerbell fairies and all of her spin-off movie fairies. So again, I trust you all to make the smart decisions. You can get these books on Amazon France or Amazon UK. Obviously, they're French, so that's the number one spot to get them. But they're also sold on Amazon UK. That's where I get mine. I think they're starting to pop up on US Amazon, especially the Spanish editions, which is pretty interesting. I didn't know they had Spanish editions until recently. So I don't know why they're just not on Amazon US. Makes me sad. What I recommend doing is searching Les Grands Classiques on both of these Amazons and seeing what pops up. A lot of the times you'll just have to find one and then they'll all chain together and recommended. So that is what I would do if you are looking for them. I will try to link, at minimum, the links to Amazon UK down below, but I don't know. It all depends on what your shipping is and where you are, which one is going to be a better deal. So retail price, these are about $13 a piece. But of course there's shipping charges, which is killer. And you just have to weigh out what your best option is to get them. But overall, I love these books. If you saw my finished flips, volume 1, I have finished 118 of these pages over the course of having them, which is a lot, and I'm pretty happy. When I first got them, I was doing like 2 or 3 a day, and it was crazy. So I've calmed down a little since then, especially since I have so many other great books, but I definitely love these. I personally love this process of outlining them. So I know, like, even on my honeymoon, I brought one of them with me, and I just brought the black marker to outline. And then I just outlined a bunch, like, waiting in the airport. So it's all personal taste, what kind of coloring you like to do. But if you love Disney, definitely check these out. And yep, so we are getting close to being done with step 1 of our black outline. That might be all I can see right now. Sometimes I miss some spots and I just have to go back later. So now I will close off this end and I will open up my brush end, and then I'll just color in all the lines. So this marker is actually nearing the end of its life. It lived a long time, but we're getting close. So it takes a few extra rub downs sometimes. But again, these are water-based, so I have never had an issue with them bleeding through. Yeah, I don't think ever. Maybe if I go over the same spot a lot, which I don't have reason to do, or sometimes since they're water-based, I'll like spill a drip of water from drinking onto the book, and then that definitely encourages the running, but that really is not the marker's fault. It is my fault. So yes, so this is step 2 for me. So I personally like to use, right now, Crayola Super Tips for the rest of the coloring, which we'll get to in one moment. And you'll see my process for that, but that's what I have out here with me. I've also in the past, I used Prismacolors, but these books are actually a little bit larger than normal coloring books, so I don't necessarily recommend using any luxury brand, I guess, expensive brand, just because you'll definitely go through them a lot quicker than even a regular page. And I know I personally love the bold look, so I want the colors to be nice and bright, and I think it just looks even more accurate if you have them nice and solid and bright. So I recommend markers, and or if you have to use colored pencils, I also recommend Crayola colored pencils because they're incredibly cost efficient, and if you get the big pack, there's tons of colors to match. Sometimes if I need to, I'll use my markers, and then I'll use color pencils for skin tones because it's harder to match that with the markers. And also, as you'll see soon, I worry about matching the character themselves, but I don't necessarily worry about matching the background too much because it doesn't matter as much as the character itself. And especially, or even like for Rue, I don't know if he has a signature outfit or anything, so it might not even be as important to match his shirt even. So I just worry about his skin tone. And then everything else, if it's a little bit off, it's a little bit off. All I recommend is that if, for example, you have 3 shades of green in your picture, to just make sure in real, whatever your choices are, you have light, medium, and dark, and then just make sure they're assigned in the right way, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does, but I'll show you color choices in one quick second. I don't think I missed anything. That's why sometimes I'll peek in the back to see if I missed anything obvious. Let's peek. Oh, I missed his hair, didn't I? Yep. So I think that is all that I missed. See, so again, I could just figure that out later as I'm coloring when I go to color that area, and I see those lines, but I like to just peek. So that's a preference thing, and you'll figure out what your preference is when you get your book. I wish that I could give out an affiliate link for this, to be honest with you, because I love these books so much that I need to be sponsored by Hachette Heroes. So if they're seeing this, hit me up, I'm ready. Okay, next step. So now, each page has the colors at the bottom. So I am going to be using my 120 pack of Super Tips today to try to color match and see what's going on. Again, I like to color match them all right at the beginning and just keep them out the whole time, because you don't want to get through the whole page before you realize that you don't have a certain color. I think that's a little bit too dark. I think that is a good A. So what I do is I'll put them in order next to me, or you can't see that right now. I'm gonna put them right here for now, and then I'll move them next to me when it's time to start coloring. I also this is nothing to do with it, but I like to start with the scented ones just because I like coloring with the scented ones. But then I just give them a sniff as I color. See, they're all a little bit off. I tried to match as close as I can, but again, for me, it's most important to get the skin tones right, and then everything else is just bonus. So this process can be quick, can be slow, depends what we find. Sometimes for the Crayola especially, the tip doesn't match what's inside, and that can get really frustrating. But in the past, I've actually labeled. I put labels that you would use on garage sales, and I've labeled, what is that? Sorry, my watch went off. I've labeled, I've put a tiny label and then I color in the label. So that is a way to go with these. I know a lot of people are very frustrated that they don't have numbers or names on them, and I definitely understand that. But again, they're so cost effective that it's hard to be mad at them. So yeah, so this is BA0, and then I just keep going. Once I start getting into the coloring this next part, I'll probably start chatting along too, instead of just tutorialing, even though I don't know if I'm teaching anybody anything. So I really hope that you enjoy this type of video. Please let me know if you do, or if you hate it, that's fine too, because then I won't do any more. But I was thinking of doing one on watercolor. A lot of people ask how I watercolor, so I might do a Kirby book of watercoloring, or if anyone has any other requests, let me know that too. Again, I don't expect to be an expert at any of these. I don't really expect to be teaching you, but I might have some tips and tricks just from the volume of these that I've done. So I'm trying to see. I'm not doing a great job with matching these. I might just... So when I can't match, again, I just make sure that 8 is darker than 9, so I make sure that that 8 is darker than that 9, and these are. Okay. 7. Perfect. Now we're working on the background, so it becomes even less important to match exactly. So I think that's probably good enough. But again, I'll make sure to compare. 5 is a little bit lighter than 6, so I'll make sure that this 5 is lighter than this 6. Those are almost the same color. I don't understand. Sometimes it's hard to stick these back in their case, which is frustrating, especially when you're on video trying to get some work done here. So again, if you can tell, that does not match exactly, but should I have zoomed in this whole time? It's gonna have to be close enough. And since this is just background, it should still be fine. A lot of times with the faces, which is another reason why it's so important, is that they'll use it as shading. So you really don't wanna mess that up, because then you'll be able to see the shadows on their faces will look weird. So that makes sense. looks pretty good, I think. And then now we got 2 blues, a lighter blue and a darker blue. Yeah, this part's hard to talk through because obviously we're just swatching and seeing what we can find. I kind of like that one. Okay, and then my dark blue. Whoa, that ain't it. That is not it. Okay, let's hope it's this one. Yeah, okay. So now, these are all in order. One is obviously, I have to zoom back out. Zoop, zoop. One is obviously my Tombow, so that I just know what that is all the time. And then I keep these in order. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, A and B. And I will put these off to the side and we will get to work. Personally, what I do now is I like to just start from somewhere and then just work out. A lot of times I'll start from the corner. Right now, I don't know if you noticed in our example picture, but there's like white going on. So I like to go around the white first so I don't accidentally go over the white. So it looks like basically all of the white is surrounded by the same color, and that seems to be 4. So I will go straight with number 4 and start from there. I'm trying to, it's hard to do this in the living room. Okay, so first what I do is kind of like trace the area I'm about to color, and then I color it in. A lot of people ask how I worry about like streaking with these books. The smaller the section is, it's just easy to kind of like go quickly and cover it all and not worry about streaking. But I'll show you what I do in bigger sections when we get to bigger sections. Basically, you never, with water-based markers, you don't really want to stop coloring. So whenever you stop, I do have scrap paper. So like if I'm coloring, you see where I stopped is where the ink buildup is. So if I go like this, there's no ink buildup. And then the second I stop, there's that blob. So you want to avoid stopping as much as you can. Or if you have to stop, you want to stop all along a line if possible, so it kind of blends in with the line, is my tip there. So the more you can go, the better. And again, you'll see what I do with bigger spaces in a minute. And for me personally, if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. I don't worry too much because I just think this process is really fun. So it's more about the process for me than even the final result. Obviously, I want them to look nice though, because like I spent a lot of money on these coloring books, spent a lot of time doing these pictures, but if we make any mistakes, I have 1,100 more pages to go. My other tip with the water-based markers is where you do stop, if you have to stop in the middle or something like that, I kind of just dab at them with my fingers to get the little blob off. So I just rub in the blob. Yeah. With the mystery colors or these wiggly lines, sometimes it's a little bit hard to see where your lines are. And I'm working on it sideways because the numbers are still up and down, because obviously they want it to be a mystery what the result is. So they're not going to let you know that you're working on a horizontal page. So let's see. I went over the line. Oh boy. I'm trying to go real quick for no reason. I don't know if anyone's in a rush here. I mean, I guess it's midnight, so that's a good reason to rush. But other than that, so as you can tell, I think, or I hope, is that it's not too bad with the, it's not too streaky yet because we're just working on a tiny space. So let's see, any other 4s in the area? Again, this is definitely a time where I will check in the back to make sure I'm not missing a certain color, because I don't have time to look at every little dot necessarily. Okay, so as I get to bigger spaces, if I'm in a space that I don't think I can efficiently color
in one swipe, essentially. What I will do is intentionally make lines. So let me see what I mean here in this area. So again, let me dab off the excess. Sometimes my fingers will get dirty. So this is getting to be kind of a big area. Since it's a this way page, I'll go in this direction. Marker in my mouth. So that's white. So what I will do is I will intentionally go up and down in stripes. So if you do end up seeing the stripes, it is uniform. And again, I try to keep my marker moving as much as possible. And if I have to stop, I try to stop on a place I could either dab up or I'll stop against the black line. And I just keep going up and down. This is still a relatively small space, which is why I think you're not seeing too much streaking, but you can kind of see the line work. And again, if I get to even bigger spaces, you'll be able to see that and see that we very intentionally made these lines. So if nothing else, it's consistently streaky, and to me that looks better than just wildly streaky. All right, let me turn back on the side. Hopefully I remember I'm zoomed in and show you everything I'm doing. So I just kind of look around for number 4s. A lot of the times once I start a color, I'll try to do basically all of that color at once. Or if there's a whole bunch of the same color, I do like switching it up because it gets tedious for me to do the same color for a long time. So I might do this and then I'll go to some different number and then I'll come back to this and etc, etc. So again, this is a small enough space. I hope that I can just go quickly and never stop my pen until I have to, and then dab off the little excess at the end. Sometimes you'll see some blobbing, but that's really not always avoidable. Okay. So I guess, hopefully, I can do a little bit of chatting while I'm doing this. Obviously, if I think of anything else, I will definitely mention it. But yes, today is 4th of July, like I said. Am I in camera at all? No. And in New Jersey, the current thought process is so I just made a little bit of a mistake. Of course, like, great showing. I went over that line a little bit. So actually, if I do that, I might go straight to the other color, which is 6, and then I'll kind of correct right away. Luckily, I'm starting with a darker color, so it'll be easy to go over it. So 1 second, I'm sorry. 6, 6, 6, 6. Yes, okay, so in New Jersey, we're actually one of the states that's doing pretty good with the virus, so I decided to have a very, very small get-together, outside only. There were 8 of us total, and we were outside all day long, social distancing, and we had a little barbecue and played some games, which was very nice because I obviously haven't seen these people in a very, very long time. My friends I haven't seen since March, and this all started, and we decided that we would go for it and be as safe as we could. And I'm very happy because, again, I might not see them for a while again, as we have to continue to be safe. So, yes, there's that. We played some, like, life-size, essentially beer pong, but obviously there was no beer in it. But we actually used buckets from Home Depot as the cups, and we were throwing a volleyball. And I was paired up with my cousin's boyfriend because we are a very good team, and we won 6 games in a row. So we beat all the other teams twice, and then we retired as the true champions to give somebody else a chance, I guess. So that was a lot of fun. Again, I was very happy to see people that I have not seen in months. And you can still hear the fireworks, which is pretty crazy because now it is 12:03. So again, this is a bigger area. I'm going to turn the book and work in the other direction so I can evenly make these lines. Yeah. So I just can't believe there's so many fireworks. Fireworks actually were illegal in New Jersey until recently, and by recently I mean it's been a few years now, but most of my life they have been illegal to buy here. Obviously a lot of people would just like go to Pennsylvania and buy them, but it's a lot more accessible now. But I am personally very cautious about those, and I've not done anything harder than sparklers, which is enough for me. All right. How are we doing? Pretty good. Let me peek in the back to see how much more of this color we got. Oh, no. So there's some dots. Did we get them all? Nope. There's some down here. So yes, that is what I did today. That is why my nails are so fancy. I really love how my nails turned out. I used like this fancy glitter polish that I had from a few years ago, and I went crazy and put a whole bunch of layers on. But I think it looks really good. It's very weird because I used to do my own nails all the time, and then since my wedding, which was December 2018, I've had like professional nails put on, and then I just kept them up since then. But obviously with salons being closed, I finally took them off and have been painting my own nails again. So it's been fun to do that. I used to do like nail art and stuff, and I would just change my polish a whole bunch. I might get back into that, but we'll see. For now, I really enjoyed how this manicure came out. What else has been happening? Again, it's very hard to color in chat during quarantine because there's not much going on, and thankfully so. Again, safety is very important to me and this household, so we have been doing a very good job at staying home and not doing much. I do have my tiny pool. I've been in that a bunch. I can talk about that because I love it. I just go sit out there and read my books, and we go out there for like ever. Samuel is actually going back to work Monday. He had 2 weeks off. The way the bank was doing it is they were doing like shifts of 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off to try to cut down on people. They would not be fully staffed because if they were fully staffed, they couldn't stay distant. So now, again, New Jersey's kind of opening back up fully, so they're going back to their regular schedule. It's actually a little bit different, like the hours are still a little bit weird, but he no longer will get the 2 week breaks. But we've been enjoying these 2 week breaks a whole bunch, and he'll swim with me. Swim and read. He reads so fast. It's annoying how fast he can read, because we'll go out in the pool and he'll finish a whole book while we're out there, and it blows my mind. I'll finish like 80 pages and he'll finish 400, and I think he's cheating, but he claims, like, we've talked about the books afterwards, so I guess he's comprehending what he's reading, but seems unfair. So I recently read, I think I've talked about this before, but I really love like murder mysteries. It's very strange. I have a lot of anxieties about a lot of things, and like I can't watch scary movies. I can't watch like true crime TV shows, really. Well, I can watch the TV shows. I can't watch like live stuff. Like the TV shows are usually dramatized. I cannot see any gore. If I see any gore, like people falling even on YouTube, things like that, even some America's Funniest Videos, like they mess me up and I remember forever and I hate it. But I can read some crazy stuff. Let me switch colors for a moment. What should we do next? More background? I think a lot of the background is number 5. Yeah. Some number 5. So. Yeah, but I can read some pretty crazy stuff. But recently I read Home Before Dark, which is the 4th book by Riley Sager. He's actually like he was an author under a different name, and Riley Sager's his pen name. And he's been writing like mystery thrillers. But his last 2 have been getting closer to horror. And Lock Every Door was very scary. And it was very near too scary for me. But I held out and I finished that. I could only read it during the day though. So that's pretty funny. If you like have been subscribed to for a while, you've probably seen I've attempted to do some book-related videos before, but it doesn't seem like anyone liked them, which is okay. It's 2 different audiences, so I don't know if I'm gonna do any more book videos, especially not until like I'm more established. I don't know about anyone else, but I know that like once I start watching somebody and like really enjoying their content, it doesn't matter what they put out, I'll watch it. Obviously, like if it's a subject I really don't like, I'll just skip a video or 2. But once I like get to know you, I want to see everything. So I'm hoping that one day I'll have some subscribers that want to see everything, including book-related stuff. But Home Before Dark was about this like girl, and her father wrote a horror true story, nonfiction book, that's the word, about when they lived in this house for like 3 weeks. They lived in the house. So it went super viral, bestseller, went crazy. A lot of people don't believe that it's real, and she doesn't believe that it's real, but her family never admitted to it being fake. So she was like 5 years old when they lived in the house. And the story is about her, like her father passes away, and then she finds out he still owned the house, and she goes back to fix it up and kind of try to figure out what the truth was. And it's so scary. Like, obviously I don't want to give anything away, but it scared me a lot. It like flashed back and forth between chapters in the book her dad wrote and then like her experience in the house. And I didn't like it. I did like it. I liked it a lot, but it was very scary. And again, very close to being too scary for me. So that's good to know. Then I just read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which is actually a romance book, which is something I've been getting into more because sometimes it's too heavy to read like murder mystery after murder mystery. So I kind of need to like interject some nice books in there. Okay, sorry. This is a good example of my stripe method. You can definitely see that it is streaky because these are water-based markers. They're hard to get big areas not streaky. But again, I very intentionally go up and down in an effort to at least make it look uniform. So I'm hoping that is what you're seeing here, a nice uniform area. So, okay. Yes, so I also read Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Get a Life, Chloe Brown is about this girl who, well, I guess this woman who has fibromyalgia and is very grumpy because of it, but not like because she's in pain or anything like that. Oh no, this was number 6. Okay, I made another mistake. She is grumpy because like after she got diagnosed, all of her friends left her and like didn't believe her, and she had a hard time having people believe she was sick. So She's very wary of the world kind of thing. And then she actually almost gets hit by a car and decides that she has led a boring life and she wants to change that. So she makes a list of things that will help her, quote, get a life. And that's why it's called Get a Life. Chloe Brown. So she like moves into her own apartment out of her family home, and then she, as her superintendent of the building, help her finish some things on the list. And again, it is a romance, so they end up falling in love, and it's like their story of how they fall in love. Obviously, it's a book that has issues in it, so there's like the conflict they go through, and you get to see all that. And sorry, again, I'm trying to focus a little bit. I try to outline the white spots so I don't accidentally color over them. Yeah, so you see like their whole relationship blossom and what happens with them. So it was very cute and I really liked it. And I liked it a lot because her nickname that he gave her is Button. And obviously, being Danny Buttons, I related to that. And, yeah, it was just funny. There was some steamy scenes, which was surprising to me. And also, it's a British author, and so some of the words are not words we use over here a lot. Or we use them, but it was, like, almost more graphic because of the word choices, but it was like, it's not as graphic over there as it was over here. So, again, they're bad words. I'm not going to say them, but maybe you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that was really good. And now I started all the Ugly and Wonderful Things, maybe? I think that's what it's called. I was going to check my phone because my phone case is next to me, but I'm filming on my phone, so I cannot do that. But apparently this is like a taboo romance between, so it's like, I think it's going to be between an adult and a child, essentially. Somebody under the age of 16, and you're kind of like rooting for them the way it's written. And it's supposed to like make you feel all sorts of things because you know you shouldn't be rooting for them, but you want to. I don't know. I'm only like 40 pages into it, but it's already good. But I don't want to know more until I read it. So I'm so happy to be reading a lot. I think I've mentioned this before too, that like growing up, I read a whole ton, and then I kind of stopped for like years, and I don't know why. I like became embarrassed of reading. So again, when I was younger, I would just have a book with me all the time, read all the time. And then when I got older, I like didn't want anyone to see that I was reading. So I would only read when I was alone, which I don't like. Why? I don't get it. But yeah, now I proudly read again. And last year I actually finished 100 books, which is pretty amazing. But this year I'm not on pace for that because, I don't know, all the reading community is calling it like the Corona slump. So I definitely suffered from that too, but it's okay. Hopefully my goal is to read 60, which I think is still a pretty good goal. Ooh, I found another 4. And I think I'm on target for that now. I'm actually like 3 books ahead of schedule, according to Goodreads. So I might, if you want, link my Goodreads down below in case you are a reader. And then you can follow me over there and see what I'm reading, I guess. So yeah, so basically back to the picture. I'm still just going through and kind of outlining each section as I'm doing it, trying to avoid the number 6, even though I keep hitting it. That's another tip that I do sometimes. I will start with the lighter colors, so then if I make a mistake, I can just go right over them with the darker colors. So I recommend doing that, especially if you're talking while you're doing this, it's a little distracting. But we're doing pretty good, I think. Yeah, with the water-based markers, again, you see the streaks, a little bit unavoidable. And anytime you go over the same area, you'll see that. So you want to avoid that too, if possible. Obviously, it's not always possible. So I just kind of take it as something that just happens with the markers, and I'm okay with that. Again, I really love how bright and bold markers show up. So you kind of have to take the good with the bad. Hopefully I'm not zoomed in too far. It looks like I'm okay. And I think this will give you a better view, and then we can kind of like reveal at the end and zoom back out. So that will be fun. Yeah, these pictures can go pretty quick. It all just depends what the image is. Obviously, some have more details than other. But I find it very relaxing and a lot of fun. I think I mentioned earlier in the video a little bit that to help me pick what page I do, I've decided to like have a monthly theme, and this is an entirely personal thing that you do not have to do, of course. But there's so many pages in these books. Each book has 100 pictures, which is pretty amazing because it's really good value. It makes even the shipping worth it. But that makes it very overwhelming to pick what page to do sometimes. So what I do is have a theme this month. For July, I'm going to try to do all water critters or water movies or water related things. Like, again, Roo isn't a water guy and Winnie the Pooh isn't a water movie, but Roo seems to be jumping out of the water in this particular picture. So I'm counting that. Sometimes, of course, even with my themes, I'll just go and pick what I want to pick and just go for it. But it definitely helps when I cannot decide. So, I went into the 6 again. Luckily, since I'm doing the darkest color last, I can just fix that at the end. And again, now that I'm on the background, I don't even really have to worry about being too specific because it's just the background. So if we make mistakes, it's fine. I think I'm pushing really hard on my marker for no reason, so that's a me problem that I need to fix because I'm like smushing this tip. I don't usually do that, so I don't know what's going on there. But yes. Whew. What else have I been up to? Spending time in my pool. Spending time with Sam. We are redecorating our bedroom, and it's super exciting. We, on his last 2 weeks off, painted. We've lived here for 4 years in this house, and this is the first room we have painted. So, when we moved in, I don't necessarily like a lot of the decor choices in the house. And I remember my dad being like, then why did you move there? And I'm like, because you can always paint. Like, you don't not buy a house because of the colors of the wall. That seems silly. But obviously we hadn't actually gotten around to doing any of that until now we're starting. The other thing, Samuel doesn't necessarily like worry about that type of thing. I think that's just like the guy in him. Like, he obviously wants the house to look nice, but he doesn't like the idea of like spending the money to do that. But I've convinced him that instead of waiting until we need to do things, if we just like keep proactive and do one room a year maybe, then by the time like now it won't be our bedroom's turn again for like 5-10 years. And I think that's an appropriate amount of time between decorating. So we painted. So our room was blue with like light wood color trim, and now we painted it purple which is both Samuel and my favorite color. And we did white trim. Our bedroom actually has 6 doors in it, which is pretty crazy because we have the door to the outside, we have the door to the bathroom, and we have 2 double closets, which sounds like a lot, but they're very shallow closets. Like it's just one hanger deep, essentially. So, it's a lot of doors. So we painted them all white, and we painted the trim white, and we painted the walls purple, and it just makes the room look so much brighter, and I love it a lot. And I know it's also just like the excitement of it being new, but I really, really love it. Then we also put up curtains, which we had not had curtains in there before, and it was pretty crazy because, again, we've lived here 4 years. We have like the roll down blinds. I've actually had the curtains for 3 of the 4 years we've lived here, but I didn't have, or I thought I didn't have the brackets to put up the pole, like the curtain poles, but turns out they were in there all along. So that's a little bit embarrassing, but now we have curtains up, and they're like these white, billowy, fluffy curtains, which, again, I'm so excited about. They look so good. I have to steam clean them, or steam, like, iron them still, because they're very wrinkly, because they've been in their container for 3 years. But they're up, and that's amazing. And then we also got, like, some shelves for decor, and I'm, like, so excited. So up until last year, we had no wall decor. And then after we got married, I had put this like really cool set of frames on my registry. So it's like 16 different frames, and the frames end up like making a heart shape, and it's really cute. And there's a bunch of wedding pictures in there. But again, we've been married 1.5 years, so that they've only been up like a year, if not less, because we didn't put them up the day we got them, unfortunately. So, before that, we had nothing on our walls for years, but now we have that. I also have like this really pretty picture of a succulent that we're gonna put up, but that frame we have to wait on because the frame is like 2 inches deep, and we don't have a long enough nail or way of putting that up. So, but it's ready. And then we got these tiny shelves, and I love them so much. So they're just like picture depth shelves, and it's a set of 5. And we like just like put them in a fun pattern on the wall. And now we can put trinkets up, and I love it. I really like, you're probably thinking this is not very exciting, but I find it so very exciting. The whole room looks so different. And I honestly like feel like it's finally turning into like a put together adult room instead of just like taping pictures to the wall, which is what I have done in the past. So I'm feeling like a big girl now with my big fancy room. So happy. And oh, the most exciting part is we are getting a new rug in there. And like, I really haven't done that type of remodeling ever, because growing up, like, we rented where we lived, and then we just didn't live in this place long enough to do that. Also, I just made another mistake. But we're getting a new rug, and I'm so happy. Carpet, really. I don't mind carpet. I know a lot of people don't like carpet anymore, but if we wanted to change the flooring, it would be a huge deal because it's the same flooring in the whole top floor. So like, we couldn't just change the one room. So for now, we are getting a new carpet, and I cannot wait because the carpet definitely needed to be changed. The lady who lived here before us had cats, and like, they're not the cleanest of carpets. Like, when we moved in, we obviously rented like a wetback and tried to get all the everything out, so they're not like dirty, or I don't know how to put it. Like, it's as clean as one can physically get it, because we wet vacked it as really good, got a lot of the stains out, but it's just I'm assuming pretty old. So it was just time. Obviously, again, with pandemic, it's taking longer because we're not going to install it ourselves. We have no idea how to do that. But we got the man to come in and like take the measurements, and now they're going to get back to us to put it in. So that's an interesting experience because he showed up and like we obviously all wore masks in our own house, which I'm not upset to do, but it's just you never think about it because at first he got here and I didn't have my mask on, and then I was like, oh man, that's really rude to him because he doesn't know how much we've been staying inside, things like that. So we put all our masks on and he measured everything up. We're also getting new carpet on the stairs because the stairs have this weird red carpet, which I don't understand where that came from, but I'm very excited. So, and continuing with my theme with feeling like a real adult, we got new houseplants. And we've never really successfully raised any houseplants. So we'll see how these guys go. But we have one hanging plant, which is actually in this living room right up there. And then we got a lucky bamboo, which was a weird choice, I know. But Samuel wanted that. And we got I think it's called like a pink lady. And we put those on our new shelves. So we have some plants to hopefully keep alive. If we manage to do well with these guys, I think Sam wants even more plants. But we just got these at Home Depot. So we're hoping to one day go to like a garden center for if we get any more. But we have to prove ourselves to these plants before we adopt any new ones. So, yeah, that is what I've been up to. Again, like, I did go out with my mask a few times this last week because Sam was off. But now that his regular work schedule is back, we probably will not be going out again for a long while. And I'm totally okay with that because I want everyone to be safe. So, hopefully I remember to move this book around so you can see what I'm doing. I don't know if I've ever filmed out in the living room, so I'm really hoping that you can see everything I'm doing. And I'm very rusty on color and chat, so I'm hoping I'm not blocking everything too bad. But we are giving it a try. How far in are we? Holy cannoli, it's been an hour. Oh, no. Yikes. That's not what I wanted. Nobody's gonna stay this long. So I'm gonna try to go real quick and finish this off. I almost want to like turn the camera off and finish, but I just feel like it's not fair if you did stay this long. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I was also thinking about fast forwarding some parts. So being like, how I do this, and then I would tell you, I trace the lines, and then I would fast forward. But it's hard to do that when I talked through all of that because I didn't know if I was going to. So we will see how this gets to you. I might try editing some of it. I do not know. I just edit straight on iMovie on my phone, so it's not always the easiest. I don't really know what I'm doing. It's very limited editing. If anyone else edits on their phone with a different program, please let me know. I would like to learn something new, but just I'm afraid to like invest in a program just to not be able to do it. So, I don't know. I'm going to try to go even quicker. We'll see what new mistakes we make if we step up our game. But yeah, again, if for little spaces, I just keep my marker moving as much as possible, and then I'll dab off the little spot at the end, the little ink that it leaves. And for big spaces, I just go in the same direction, slowly making stripes or lines, so at least it's consistent. Oops, I definitely wasn't supposed to go over that, but it is too late now. So for this, I've really very, very, very rarely gone through, but you can go through if you go over the same area a whole bunch of times. So for example, if it looks a little bit streaky and you want to go over it again, definitely wait for the markers to dry before you do that, so you don't get streaks and so you don't like go right through the paper. I have not done it very often, especially these Crayolas are very easy to use, but that is just my warning to you. Speed coloring makes my hand hurt. Ah. I don't know how everyone colors and chats at the same time. I don't have enough to say. Boring. I know in the past I would do challenge videos that I made up myself, and those were fun. I don't remember what I talked about, but I remember doing those. And then I know I also in the past have like brought up a whole big giant list of questions, and then I would read from those, and that was fun. These are all 5s, not 6s. So maybe I'll do that again, just to mix it up, have something to say. But for now, we're just gonna keep speed coloring. Probably looking at this being like, you're not going fast. You're right, I'm sorry. I'm trying. I'm super thirsty too. Let me see. Oh no, my water is really far away. I'm just taking a sip of water. Unfortunately, my water was a twist top, so that really slowed us down here. Okay. So sometimes, I don't know why I do this, but like my marker's off to the side when I'm done with a certain color and I don't think I'm gonna have any more, I'll just flip the marker in the other direction to kind of like indicate that was the end of that. All right, A's and B's. So that is these guys at the end. Again, I just trace the area first and then I fill it in. Sometimes when you do that, wow, it didn't show you at all. You'll get darker lines over your tracing, because again, if you're going over the same place twice, it might show more, but for me, that doesn't bother me. So, is that all of the B's? It just might be. So now A's. The only problem, this is my like blotter thing is actually a dollar store like cutting board that I got a few years ago and that I just reuse all of the time. But the only problem with it is bendy, but not bendy enough really. So sometimes it'll slide towards me and then I'll get lines from coloring against it. 0, what in the heck? Okay. Apparently we got some 0s coming up. So we did the hard part. The background was the biggest area. So we're in the home stretch right now. What marker is this? This is Spice Cake. It's okay. I really like fruity scents. So for the barbecue, I made kebabs, fruit kebabs, or I guess dessert kebabs. So I put blueberries and strawberries and then like a little cube of pound cake to be red, white, and blue. And I really enjoyed those. So I think I have some left. I might have one as a midnight snack, or I guess a almost 1 a.m. snack. So they might still be downstairs though, so I might not.
This is darker than I was expecting, so hopefully this comes out okay.
Wouldn't that be funny if my whole tutorial finished an hour in and then it turns out that it looks terrible? I think that would be pretty funny. I hope that is not what happens though. This is already pretty dark for Rue, and there's a darker color, so we will see. A lot of his face is this color too. Okay. So again though, I'm doing the lighter color first, which is helpful in case I make a mistake. Okay. Which again, I think I just did. It's okay. Is that white too? No. I'm still hearing some fireworks. It's definitely not as bad as it was, but it's crazy. Do you know what else is crazy? Because there were people setting them off at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and it was not even dark yet. Like, you're gonna set off illegal fireworks, you might as well wait for the darkness. So it feels like a waste. Again, I don't know if they're illegal because now there's a lot more legal fireworks than there used to be, but some of them, you know they're not legal because they're some big boys. The only problem with water-based markers is that sometimes
They wet the other colors and will get like blend in. So like you might get some black on your
marker from doing its neighbor, which is kind of another reason I like to trace first, because then I can be very careful around the black lines.
Okay. 0, let's go.
Uh-oh, yep, it's happened. This doesn't look good. The only thing that's weird about the Crayolas is sometimes they like peel and like spots come off them, and I don't know why. Okay, so as you may be seeing, the shading is a little bit weird for what we've picked as 0, but we are too far into it now. So let me see how bad it looks.
I don't think it looks too bad.
What I'll sometimes do if I've done this is I'll just kind of like put a second coat, especially around the areas that touch.
And that kind of like darkens it up enough so you can see the difference between the two. Again, there is no spotting through the back, which I'll show you
when we are done also. Or even like if you slightly go over the neighbor color, it'll make a dark spot in the middle, which will help it look
appropriately dark.
So obviously this color is really just there for shadows anyway, so it's okay. It's looking good.
Phew.
I'm sorry, I'm not talking. Man, I suck at this. I'm like not practiced at all. We are so close to done though. We are gonna make it. Next, 2. Okay, where's 2? I know that's 2. Yeah, so moral of the story. I'm very good at Pong, giant size. I also have giant Jenga, which I bought when we moved into this house as like for our housewarming party. So we played some giant Jenga. I actually didn't play today, but I watched people play. It's pretty dangerous when that falls. So you have to be on your toes so you don't get smushed on your toes. I was too busy dominating at Pong. It was just really funny though because I was like, we're like shrunken. Like we're in like Honey, We Shrunk the Kids or Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves because we had the giant Pong and the giant Jenga, and I actually have like a giant fan to keep outside for parties. So it was like we were shrunk. Which really tickled me pink. I love giant things and I love miniature things, apparently. I don't seem to like regular size things. So there's that information about me. If you do end up doing the darker color first, you can kind of just like go over it with the lighter color because it doesn't matter because it's the darker color. So that's what's happening now. I really like how it's coming out. I don't remember, like, I don't know what scene this is from Winnie the Pooh. I don't know if it's from the first movie or the second movie. Also, I'm actually not sure because the version I had as a kid is not the version I got on DVD, which is pretty weird. Let me see something. Hold on, 7, okay. I don't know. Ooh, that's more black even. If like there were just a bunch of different shorts and there used to be different ones and now there are different ones. Cause like for instance, I don't know if any Pooh fans will even know what I'm talking about, but you know like Pooh Sticks where Eeyore ends up winning Pooh Sticks with his tail, whatever, and they throw the sticks and then watch it go down the river. I don't think that's in the version I have on DVD. And like when he gets stuck in Rabbit's house because he got too much honey. That was in mine. What wasn't in mine and is in my DVD. Like what wasn't in my... I had a copy that was like a recorded VHS from television before I had the DVD. And that didn't... No, I'm getting so confused. My DVD version has an extra story that my VHS version did not. It has like a story of them like going into this cave. And it's weird. So I don't know if maybe this is from a short that is not in my version. Is what I'm attempting to get at. But okay. We are moments from done. Moments. 1 color left. We're in the home stretch. I can't believe you've made it all this way. If you have made it all this way. I kind of like doing this question. I don't know if anyone else likes it. I guess if you've made it all this way, you do like watching. So maybe you don't mind. And if you haven't made it all this way, you don't even know what I'm talking about. So if you've made it all this way, please let me know who your favorite Disney character is. We are done. Let's zoom out. Yes. Ta-da! So that is how I color French Disney coloring pages. Voila. I like it. I think it came out good. I think the 2 colors of brown actually look okay because it does look like shadowing, which is what we want. And yes, I don't think you can tell if and where I made any mistakes. Obviously, watching this, you saw me make some, but I think we covered it up pretty good. And again, that's how I do my backgrounds with the intentional streaking
This definitely does bother some people, but I think I don't mind. I think it looks good. So hopefully you enjoyed this too. Yes, if you've made it all the way here, thank you so, so much. I can't believe it. I'm so sorry this was so long. Please like and subscribe and comment. Do all those fun things if you have not already. If you would like to see more in this series, if you liked it, let me know. I will do more. I'll try to think of things. If you have any topics you'd like to see my take on, let me know. I will film those for you. What else can I say? If you want to see more of these, if you like speed coloring, if you want me to like tell you I'm doing the outline and then boom, I'm back with the outline and boom, I'm back with one color, things like that, please let me know. Whew. This was a mouthful. Here's my finished roux. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!